Yeah, you know what, as well, when you talk about where you say things didn't go your way, but I think we do also see that with any team, once things do go out, you do get that post-mortem, what's wrong with this, what's wrong with them. So what do you think it will mean for Gareth Southgate now? And do you see him the man who continues to lead England?
I mean, that is the golden question. I think if Graham Potter hadn't have gone to Chelsea, I think that we would have been handing over to Graham Potter. I think it's a little bit different because it's a Winter World Cup. We're not in the middle. We're not in the middle of a summer where it's an easy to make a break. We're in the middle of a season. Obviously now Graham Potter's gone to Chelsea, so he won't want it. I think the English FA would want another English guy in charge if it's not going to be Gareth Southgate, and then if it's not going to be Potter, you're looking at someone like Eddie Howe, who is challenging to get in the Champions League with Newcastle. So he probably will feel it's not the right time. I think Pochettino would probably take it. I think Thomas Tuchel would probably take it. But I think Gareth Southgate will get first dibs on whether he wants to carry on. I think he's been stung a little bit before this tournament about some of the criticism that he received, considering that he got England to a World Cup semi-final in Russia. He got to a final of a Euros where they were beaten by Italy. He's done well in this tournament as well. He's not reached the heights that he wanted to, but he's still beaten par, I suppose you would call it. So I think it would be up to Gareth Southgate. If he wants to stay, I think they'll let him stay. But ultimately, it's whether he wants that. And he may feel that after so long in charge and 3 major tournaments, that it's time to step away.
Rob, I guess my question is, who would you like to see take over? Who do you think could get the best out of this pool of young players?
Do you know what? I would keep Gareth Southgate. If it was up to me, I would beg Gareth Southgate to stay, because you mentioned there about the team being likeable, and that's something that Gareth has done. Again, I've grown up with England teams where they haven't been likeable. We haven't really been able to connect with England teams, and I think that lots of fans can do that now. And he's got such a young core of players who obviously all appreciate him and respect him. He's got another Euros in Germany in 2 years, and then I've got a World Cup in the US. I think there's a fantastic opportunity to keep that young core together and see what they can achieve. And I think Gareth Southgate, for all the criticism that he's received, has got the best out of them, or he's approaching what their best is. And I think if there is an opportunity to keep him, I think that they should keep him. Obviously, it will be down to him. But if I was the English FA, I would be begging him to stay.
Yeah, I think, there's so many parts with Gareth Southgate as well. He was the captain of Middlesbrough when I used to work at Middlesbrough many years ago, let's say. And he always had that leadership. And I think, the way we hear him speak, it's not just the team that are likeable. It's so very easy to like Gareth Southgate as well. And I know it can be laughable sometimes to some of the old pros, and some of them on ESPN FC will even make fun of me when I talk about the fact that he brought in, experts to work on the mentality of this team, to work on the psychology, to work on penalties. It's massive that they won that penalty shootout against Colombia in 2018. And even today, we kept hearing on the call, Harry Kane, yes, ultimately one was skied, but the first one was scored. The process that he goes through to take his penalties, all these little moments that you take charge of. And you can see that the team will do anything for that coach because they know he's been there. They know he's been there in the tough times, missing a penalty in a huge major tournament himself. And I feel that he's such a modern coach in trying to bring all these outside elements, anything that can help the team. Even the fact that we were talking about that report that he had commissioned to try and look at these small little things that can always give his team an advantage. And then on top of that, leading all these young players as well can only help them too.
Thank you very much for watching ESPN FC on YouTube. For more highlights, analysis and exclusive content, be sure to subscribe.